Back here at Chesterton High School, my name is Mike Dywan here with the Region Sports Network, and I'm here with Andrean head coach Chris Skinner. Coach, how are we doing today?
Good. Appreciate you guys coming out and showing some love.
Always a pleasure. It's football season, and plenty of scrimmages to cover. So, talk to me kind of about where this team's at in the summer. You and I were kind of talking a little bit before, but I know you guys had a lineman camp just now, and obviously we're kind of in the dog days of summer. But just talk to me about where this team's at so far.
Yeah, we spent a lot of teaching time in June, hitting the weight room. Our linemen, about 12 of them, had an opportunity to go to a lineman-specific camp. That was really good for them, like a 3-day camp.
Sure.
But yeah, we're just really in kind of like a teaching mode. We got a lot of younger guys, so a lot of install. We don't do a lot of install in the spring just because of multi-sport athletes.
Sure.
So that's kind of what June is for us. So this is actually the first scrimmage we've been to. So it's good to actually get out there and see how well we can execute the things that we've been teaching for the last 3 weeks.
Definitely, for sure. Going on those multi-sport athletes, I think you've probably had some of the most success. I mean, you've had this luxury, and I want to know how I kind of want to say deal. I think there's a better word to say that, but you've had the luxury of coaching a lot of guys that go on to play at the next level.
Yeah.
And so that requires a summer full of visits, camps, you got some guys on this team, Jimmy Finley, Ben Novak, who are racking up offers, Ethan Rayner, a couple other guys that are, doing very well and going to these camps and trying to get scouted, as well as, of course, trying to, do something on the field for the Niners this fall.
Sure.
Talk to me kind of about how to deal with these kind of multi-sport athletes. Of course, you want to support all this stuff, but I think it's an underrated challenge as coaches may have to face in the summer. And I know Andrean, again, you guys pump out next level athletes, and I respect you guys heavily for that. But how's that kind of challenge been? And
it's not easy, right? But I think this is part of what is attractive to a lot of potential families, is that multi-sport success, not just participation, but success, is something that's viable at Andrean. And I think that starts with the administration and the athletic department, where that is heavily encouraged.
Sure.
There's obviously a lot of communication and respect for the coaches in the building. Baseball and football is probably our biggest crossover. We want guys to feel like it's possible to do both.
Sure.
We got guys who play for, the Indy Bulls, and they're going to tournaments all the time.
Right.
And that's just something you have to balance.
For sure.
But, guys who do that, who achieve at the highest level in both baseball and football, you want them to love doing both of those things. You don't want them to feel pressured to have to do one or the other.
Right.
So are there times where, we're missing guys at practice? Yeah, there is. But that's where we have to do our part as coaches, catching them up, sharing installs with them, making sure they're caught up on huddle. But we want them to enjoy the successes of both of those sports.
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but we have to work
for sure. You got to roll with the punches. I mentioned some of those names to look out for. Of course, Northern Illinois commit Jimmy Finley. Congrats to him, as well as
awesome.
Ben Novak, a couple other guys. But who are some other names maybe we should look out for? I know you guys, some younger guys, but a couple. Of course, you always lose. A couple guys at graduation. But talking about some surprises maybe this camp, and what we should expect this fall in terms of just name value.
Yeah, I don't like to single guys out.
Sure.
It's nothing I've ever really done. I will just say that we have a lot of O-linemen back from last year, so really interested, especially today, first time going against somebody else, seeing how they do, fair up against somebody in a different colored jersey.
Definitely.
Got a lot of younger guys competing on both sides of the ball, actually. So this is a fun opportunity to see some sophomores and even some freshmen playing and see who can do what.
Sure.
But yeah, we graduated some positions from last year where guys were in that spot for 2-3 years. And so, we'll see who can fill those spots.
Roll with the punches. One thing about Andrean, I hear this all the time, it's a 2A school, but not a 2A schedule, and you guys got a tough start. Of course, going to Maryville, that's always a fun game, Battle of Broadway.
Yep.
And you got to go to Valpo, another solid team. KV is going to look pretty solid week 3. You guys also are home against Chatar, and you got to go to Hanover too.
Yep.
Talking about that schedule, more specifically that non-conference schedule, I know that's obviously big leading up to the NCC and, of course, postseason, which is what honestly really matters.
Yeah, I've said this many, many times. I have a lot of respect for our conference and the coaches in our conference. Obviously, since Hanover's joined, we knew what they were going to bring to the table, and obviously they played that out. I was not surprised by the success that they had last year.
Right.
But then you're going to have, obviously, everybody in our conference is coached by a really good coach.
Right.
So you're going to get that competition. And then for non-conference, we've always said iron sharpens iron. So we want to play the best. And Maryville week 1, Valpo week 2, that's a pretty big gauntlet. I mean, both of those teams very easily could have represented 5A North and state last year.
Definitely.
And then Chatard's been a power in the state for how long? 20, 30 years now? So
as long as I've been alive, that's for sure.
So that's the challenge we want, though. We want our guys to be in big games against the best, quality opponents, good programs, coached by good people. because we feel like that's only going to make us better. You know, is it going to result in a win all the time? Maybe not. We're going to give it our best.
Sure.
But we feel like, you know, we're going to learn things about ourselves by playing in those types of games.
Gotcha.
And so that's why we put them on the schedule.
Let's do it. Then rounding out with this, what do you kind of want to see from your guys as we lead up to week 1 at Maryville? Or even, you know, what do you got? Don't you have Lake Central, I believe, the week before?
Yeah, Lake
you
Central is
know,
our
that's
official
scrimmage. So kind of what do you want to see, you know, maybe from this point till, you know, that those middays in August?
Yeah, it's a good question. So obviously this is going to be a big evaluation day for us.
Always.
And then July is where we really start to expand on the playbook. So we're going to find out, you know, who has grasped what we've done so far in June, and then how far can we expand into our playbook on that? Because the more we have in there, theoretically, the more options we give ourselves in those early games. But if we can't handle expanding the playbook, or we can't, you know, execute the things that we're installing, then we're kind of limiting ourselves. So that's going to be really interesting to see in July, is as we start adding more at a faster pace, how much we can handle.
Awesome.
Hopefully we can handle it.
Let's do it. Well, Coach, thank you again for,
Appreciate it.
you know, letting us do all this coverage. And, you know, that's all we got here from Chesterton. This is Coach Skinner with Andrean. I'm Mike Dywan here with the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.